Item 3, approval of the minutes for a special meeting of July 25th, 2017. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? Okay. Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And one abstention. Okay, thank you. Item 4, Police Chief Jeff Hutchinson, 4.1, consider and take possible action to purchase a Ford Explorer administrative vehicle from Crowley Ford off the state contract 10PSX0239. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good, thank you.
Happy Monday.
Yeah.
So as you indicated, we're looking to purchase a vehicle, 2017 Ford Explorer, off of state contract. It's a vendor we've used before, Crowley Ford. The advantage to this vendor, there's a couple advantages. Number one, they'll take trades. So we've, as you'll see on the requisition, they're taking trades on 3 of our old vehicles. Most of the other places won't take that. The original budgeted number was $32,000. The price is at $29,496 because we're also able to get a 2017 vehicle instead of a 2018, so we're saving money there. And then with the $7,500 trade-in, you'll see total price $23,896. So we're requesting to purchase that to replace a 2005 Chevrolet vehicle.
I would move we approve purchase of the vehicle under the state contract for a net of $23,896.
Second.
I do have a question.
Discussion. Sure. Okay. Motion made. Discussion.
After the vote?
Okay.
Well, the Explorers have hit the news with this issue and everything.
Sure.
Do you want to address that at all?
Yeah, I can.
That was my question. I was going to do it after the vote. But
That's right.
Well, maybe not.
whatever.
There's, as you said, there's a lot of news about exhaust issues and carbon monoxide getting into the cabins of the vehicles. We've had absolutely no issues with it with our vehicles. All the indications are that the problems are occurring from aftermarket installs of equipment that goes in the cars, and holes are being drilled into the chassis of the vehicle. So unlike most vehicles, police vehicles sit for long periods of time sometimes, and the exhausts might come back up in those vehicles that are that have the holes in them. And although we don't have any problems with it, Ford has put out a not a recall, but an offer to inspect every single vehicle, and whether they've done the installs or not, will fix anything that they find. So we have no problems. Our cars are scheduled for immediate inspection. I don't anticipate any problems, and I'm happy with the cars right now. So
Do the vehicles actually have I mean,
they don't have monitors. Some of the agencies and some of the towns are installing carbon monoxide monitors similar to what you would install in your house, a battery operated.
yeah, just that, it's notorious that carbon monoxide, you don't know it's there until
Correct.
it's too late.
Right. We don't have them in there right now, no. We've never had a problem. If we find any issues on the inspections, that's what we're going to consider.
Okay.
So we're working with Public Works and the Ford dealerships to make sure that our guys are safe.
Chief, how long have we had the Explorers?
We're just about to turn over the first ones that we got. So in the next few months, we're going to be looking to purchase new vehicles. I think we got them. 2017? I think 2013 was the first one.
So we've had them about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion, questions? If not, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous.
Joe,
Thank
I
you,
have a
Chief.
question. I saw,
sorry.
Chief, the report about the burglaries in town. Joe, is this something that we could send out a call to the citizens to be extra careful? Because some people were posting on Facebook like, gee, I didn't hear about this.
Well, we have it
on
on. I
the
know we have
press-
it on our Facebook page. And I
Yeah.
know we did the press release.
And did press release, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that to use the call, I mean, I think a lot of people would benefit from it.
We could put a link onto our website. That wouldn't be an issue. Yeah,
Okay.
we could do that. Okay.
Tell people not to drill holes in their chassis.
That too. I think that message has been sent as well.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chief. Okay, our next item is 5. Fire Chief Charles Roshaft, 5.1, discuss and take possible action to waive the bidding and approve the purchase of an ambulance for the Guilford Fire Department, subject to recommendation from the Board of Finance in accordance with the April 18th, 2017 bond resolution.
Good morning. As the board is aware, one of the bond issues is a replacement of an ambulance.
Right.
And I'm requesting the board to waive the bidding process. We've been using the same vendor for the last 23 years, Excellence out of Alabama. And I did get a quote from a competitor. First, they were surprised I was asking for a quote because they know that we were a loyal customer of Excellence out of Alabama. And the quotes were basically identical. So I just wanted to make sure that the marketplace was, the price that was given from my current vendor was in ballpark, and they were. So we've been doing business with Excellence for 24 years. We've had 4 of their units currently, and we've had good luck with them. Remounted them, 3 of them 4 times on new chassis, and saving the town a considerable amount of money by doing so. So,
Chief, can you share that other quote with us?
yeah, the other quote I was given to you in your packet. The other quote was $180,155.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're identical, but they're close. And for the ambulance only from Excellence was 183, 137, 63, which is exactly our specification.
And we had in the appropriation from the budget referendum, 260,000.
Right.
Okay.
Right. We have some additional equipment that we're going to purchase, but
Okay.
and the purchase requisition, I'm requesting the ambulance for 183, 137, 63, and a mounting bracket called a Straker Performance Load System for 3,822.50. So the total of the purchase order is 186,960.13.
Let me ask you, what other towns, how do they purchase their ambulances? Do they purchase off some kind of consortium bid? I mean.
There's really no,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I, from a purchasing point of view, to purchase, when we're bidding on such a high dollar amount, I personally have a problem with it, but, I just wanted to voice that.
Okay.
How many
Get
suppliers
your phone.
are there of this? I mean, you said you got another
Well,
one that bid, but how many suppliers exist?
Well, it's a kind of there's certain manufacturers or ambulances that are not allowed to mount on our particular chassis. So it even limits the amount of vehicles that can be mounted. There's a total of about 15 manufactured ambulances. And the chassis that we use are the Chevy 3500. There's only, I believe, 4 that are allowed in the state of Connecticut to mount those on Chevys. So, and the tendency of the industry is to go to a much bigger unit, which is not what we want. We want to stay with a 147-inch box and the height of no more than, I believe, is 11 feet.
I mean, we're going to Alabama. How far across the country are we supposed to go for these bids?
Yeah. And they're all over the place. They're in New Jersey. They're in, they're all over the place. This is just a vendor we've been using for the last 23 years. And we've had very good luck with them.
Now, this is the chassis, not the box.
No, it's complete ambulance.
Complete ambulance.
Complete
Okay.
ambulance. Right.
We'll make sure.
Usually we just buy the chassis and have the current boxes mounted that we have, which
Okay.
we've been doing since
So
1993.
that
I
everybody
remember
understands.
that in budget discussion
Right.
where it's time to
Right.
do the whole
And
thing.
they've always renewed the warranty for 20 years, and it's been, we've had a very good relationship with them over the years.
So everybody understands, this is a brand new.
Brand new ambulance.
Unit, complete.
Brand new ambulance.
Okay.
Right.
Chassis.
But this particular chassis is going to be a 4-wheel drive chassis.
Chassis, box, everything.
Everything.
Equipment,
Everything.
everything. Okay.
Right.
See, this is this is a complex bid with a lot of assets on it, which I don't feel capable of analyzing. Is this reviewed by the commission, or?
Yeah, the commission's made
The
aware of
specs-
it.
the specs
The specs are our normal specs that we've been using for the last 23 years.
Okay.
Okay, it's the same spec. That's the reason why I know exactly.
I mean, they don't change? I mean, as
No.
technology changes, or as
The only thing that really changed
EMT skills change.
Really, the only major change in the ambulance is the mounting system. The KKK spec came out, and the mounting system is changed now, where it has to withstand an impact of over, I think it's a 1,000-pound impact. So that's the reason why we had to change the ambulance mounts. And even during the next remount we have to spend the money to change the mounting brackets for the stretcher, which has been the industry standard since ambulance has been in existence, but they now changed them.
To Gary's point, I think what you're trying to say is that internally in the ambulance, the latest technology as far as electronics and medical is in there, right?
Right. Instead of using incandescent light bulbs, they're using LED light bulbs. Obviously there's more computerization on some of the interior stuff.
And that's the kind of stuff, I think is that where you were going,
Right.
Gary? Having to,
Right. It's all up-to-date standards, and we've reviewed them extensively, and
we had most of that in the old ambulance, but it was retrofitted thing.
Right.
Where this is
it's brand new. Everything is brand new.
engineered to the latest standards.
Right.
That's my understanding.
And what happens with the existing, this is replacing an existing ambulance.
Right. We're going to either sell it outright or see if we can get a trade for it.
Okay. And will these guys take a trade, or?
They may, yeah. We haven't approached them about it yet.
Okay. Need a motion?
Well, make a motion that we take the recommendation of the chief and the commission and approve a total of $186,960.13 for a new Guilford Fire Department ambulance, Chevy 3500 4x4, and the Stryker Performance Load System.
I'll second that.
A motion is made and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you, Chief.
Joe, I just have to turn over the last page of our package does have the other bit.
Okay. Yeah, it does. Okay. Okay. Item 6, discuss and take possible action to set a town meeting on Tuesday, September 5th, 2017, at 8:15 a.m. in Guilford Town Hall for the release of an easement and restricted covenant between Elizabeth S. McCleary and the town of Guilford with respect to the property known as 25 Quarry Road in accordance with Town Charter 7-7, and refer this to the Planning and Zoning Commission pursuant to the mandatory referral required by Connecticut General Statute 8-24. John? And, Representative Mr. McCleary is Attorney John Dillon. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Good morning.
I don't think I need too much of the history of the file. The McClearys owned a very small parcel of land with a house on it. I believe it was the Beatty House at Old Quarry.
Oh, okay.
And they also owned, but it was not part of the association. They also owned a lot that wrapped around three sides of that small parcel. The small parcel was like 50 by 100. The large parcel was several acres. To get the necessary septic system and reserve system to serve the house, they had to put it on the second piece that they also owned. And the town's concern was that if there was a problem, either the separation of the parcels with different owners or a problem with the system itself, a health issue, the town wanted to be in a position to enforce, to have some rights, because it's in the Old Quarry zoning area. So, I think this was in 2007, we had to go before a zoning board of appeals for them to approve this easement and restrictive covenant agreement. That was in place. Subsequent to that, the McClearys have decided to subdivide the larger parcel of land and to attach approximately half of that land to the smaller lot. The Old Quarry Association has agreed to allow that piece to come into the association. So now, what used to be Lot 19 and another piece of property owned outside the association is now what remains of the original Lot 19, plus roughly half of it has been attached to the piece that came in, now known as Lot 26. So the McClarys are in the process of selling Lot 26, which includes the septic system in question. Closing was supposed to be August 4th. We went through the zoning process months ago. We received the necessary approval. The appeals period has passed, but when I submitted a release to the selectmen, I was advised by in-house counsel that whenever the town either acquires or releases an interest in land, it requires a town meeting. I'm not entirely sure whether that means an ownership interest, a fee interest, or whether, I mean, if an interest in land, if you have a tax lien on someone's property, I guess you have an interest. And I'm sure you don't have to go to town meeting to get that released. But apparently for an easement, you do. So that's why we're here, asking for the release of the easement. And we, again, I understand we do have to go to town meeting.
John, how big is the parcel going to be, the original parcel, once you add on? Just curious.
Bear with me.
Or a corollary to that,
Yeah.
are both parcels conforming after this
Yeah, oh, yes,
transaction
definitely.
takes place? And I guess is more interesting.
The new house lot will be an acre plus the 50 by 100, right?
I mean, they're splitting it kind of equally.
All right, this
Where's the easement?
This little rectangle is the original house lot,
Mhm.
and this was all Lot 19 that wrapped around it on
Oh,
three
wow.
sides. Now they've divided down this line.
Yeah.
So this lot is 1.45 acres, and this one is 1.66. And
So are they
this-
selling ultimately both of them, or just the blue part?
They will eventually sell both of them. They also own another lot in Old Quarry on the other side of the road.
Was the easement condition put on by planning and zoning originally?
Dennis Johnson said he felt it was necessary, so upon his advice, we went to, not by planning and zoning, to the zoning board of appeals. He felt
Okay.
that's the right body.
Okay. And why are we looking to release the easement? That
I think the town no longer has any interest because the party that is acquiring this parcel, the one outlined in yellow,
Hmm.
their septic system is contained on their property. There is no need for any protection of the town's interest. When the town's concern was that this was a part of the town of Guilford, but not the association. This was in the association. And the town was afraid of some conflict situations with Old Quarry Association on zoning and other issues. They felt it would be better to protect, for health reasons, it would be better to have the town have an easement in their favor. So
to supply to the property then?
At that time, in 2007, they felt it was in their interest.
So Dennis doesn't
No,
have that concern?
Dennis is the one who requested that we release it.
Okay,
He's the one that sent us
Okay.
to ZBA.
okay.
Did the original easement go through the Board of Selectmen?
No.
No, it went through the.
Zoning board.
Apparently.
So why does
So
the
that's what I
release
wanna
have
know.
to
I
go
don't
through?
understand.
Yeah, I mean, what was just because.
Pam, why don't you come to the
It sounds
table,
like a
please?
zoning easement, not a.
So why would zoning be able to release?
It was required by zoning, but technically, under our charter, an easement is an interest in land, and it needs to go through town meeting, so.
But the original easement.
Well,
didn't.
I have to say that I believe that that was not done correctly.
Ah.
And just because.
We've been doing that regularly when they've required a land acquisition easement, or the easement off of Leatherman Road.
Yeah.
Up there, we had to approve it, and so. I wasn't here when it was granted, but we have been dealing
I
with
just wanted to
those since
understand,
I've
'cause,
been
you
on the
know,
board.
we used to,
Understood.
in P and Z, it was pretty
Right. It was
common
because-
procedure to request an easement and, okay.
It was because the requirement was an easement, which is
So if this was an
went
easement-
beyond their authority to do, actually, so.
So it's only because it's a town easement versus owner-to-owner easement? Or
It's a
association?
town
That's
easement,
right.
it's an easement in favor of the town, right. So the town meeting has to decide.
Okay. All right, so Dennis requested it originally, and now he no longer feels the town needs it. In a nutshell, that's what we're talking
Correct.
about. Okay.
The only comment, John, I'll make is this keeps referring to 25 Old Quarry, and you were referring to lot 26, and that may be Old Quarry's.
25 Old Quarry was the street address of the lot, the original 100 by 50-foot square
Okay.
lot. It's now going to be lot 26
Okay,
with an address of 25 Old Quarry Road.
Fine, I just want to make sure that you don't get messed up between the 25 and the 26.
So John, how does this affect the sale? Not that we can do anything about it. I mean, it's
Well, it's still pending, but obviously they want, but when would the town meeting be again? You mentioned,
September 5th.
September. Is there any way to do it earlier, or
I-
is it by notice we can't, Pam?
That's a Tracy question.
You can, I can put it in the New Haven Register, it'll just cost.
What do you think about doing it the next meeting, Joe?
What kind of money are you talking?
Yeah.
$50, $100?
No.
Multiple hundreds.
What is the hardship that they would be facing if we delayed it?
well, they have a mortgage commitment,
Yeah.
and obviously if anyone has applied for a mortgage recently, it's, if you lose that, then you have to restart it, or you can't get extended. I'm of the opinion that this is no different than an unreleased mortgage. I think we can close over it with a letter of indemnification from the attorney, just saying that, if it's approved at this level,
Okay.
or at least allowed to go forward to town meeting, I can't see any possibility of the thing being denied at the town meeting.
If it's, well, attendance, we usually have at town meetings. I think you're safe by
Probably just
saying that.
here,
yeah.
like.
And if the Old
This
Quarry
type of town
Association has approved it, they're really the only
they're on
ones that would
board.
object.
No, they're totally on board.
And
It's not like somebody from my neighborhood's going to show up and object.
So I think we can do it, except that this is a necessary step to clear title for the new owner.
Okay.
And we can't legally do it for the next.
We can, but the notice requirements should have to put in the register
Several
versus
hundred
is there enough time to put in the courier, you're saying?
No, not for the next meeting.
Okay.
But before September 5th?
Yes.
So you're comfortable that you can make the transaction happen by September 5th?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I have to sign a letter, a hold harmless and
What about Shoreline
identification letter,
Times?
so
Still same
They
thing?
hang me out to dry if it
Yeah.
isn't approved. But I don't see this as being much different than an unreleased mortgage, which clearly is being paid at closing, and this is being resolved.
And with the vote from this board, you'll feel comfortable doing that.
Do I trust you? Yes, I do.
You don't want to go that far. No. Okay, do I have a motion then? Okay.
I'll move that we approve the release of the easement and restricted covenant agreement and set it for town meeting for September 15th at 8:15 a.m.
September 5th.
September 5th, what'd I say? 5th at 8:15.
Okay, second. Motion made, and seconded, is there discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion
Okay,
carried. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Like as you pointed out, we don't get a lot of people. 5 of us have voted for it. John's a citizen, so
Oh, yeah, so you
we
can
got
vote for
6
it, John.
votes. We got 6 guaranteed votes already.
And Ken will show up, so this. Okay, moving along, 7, appointments and resignations. 7.1, act on a recommendation to move Steve Copps from an alternate to a regular member of the Zoning Board of Appeals to fill a vacancy for a term to expire February 28, 2019. Second. All in favor? Aye, carries. Thank you. Act on a recommendation to appoint Dennis Dostert as an alternate to the Zoning Board of Appeals to fill a vacancy for a term to expire February 28, 2019.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Act on a recommendation to reappoint Gene Bishop to the Public Works Commission for a term to expire May 31st, 2021. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, thank you. Act on a recommendation to reappoint Paul Cello to the Board of Ethics for a term to expire July 31st, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Did
Yes, sir.
anybody know that Paul Cello had a PhD in molecular
Yeah,
pharmacology?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why he takes a lot of medical malpractice cases.
Oh, okay.
7.5, act on a recommendation to appoint Matthew, I'm going to mess this up.
Jarzynski.
Zarzynski, thank you, Carl, to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term to expire February 28, 2021.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Gary?
I would move that we approve the request for signs as indicated in the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Correspondence, I don't have any, but we did, well, let me bring this up on the correspondence. Actually, I saw that Michael Sinclair just came in, and we called him this morning. He would like the board to lend support for the North Guilford Congregational Church. Mike, would you like to address the board, please? Thank you. The timing is critical on this, so we called him up. Good morning, Mike.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
So my name is Michael Sinclair. I've been a resident for a little over 40 years. Live at 822 Little Meadow Road. North Guilford Congregational Church is a kind of a historic landmark in North Guilford on the Meeting House Hill Historic District. We have a need to replace substantial structural members in the belfry and cupola of the church. This is the church, that's the cupola. Show that to the folks out there if you want. And the part that's in question is this structure here, these columns and the supports inside the belfry. It looks like it's a job that's going to cost about somewhere near $100,000. But the reason that I'm here is that we are submitting a proposal to the Connecticut Trust for Historical Preservation. It's a matching grant. We can get as much as $15,000 for that proposal if it's accepted. Our pre-proposal, our pre-application has been accepted, so we're going ahead with the full application. The Connecticut Trust stresses in their application procedures that support letters from stakeholders in the community, including local representatives and state representatives, is very important to winning this proposal. They have 41 proposals submitted already for a total of $500,000. So they say the competition will be quite a competitive process. So we're looking for support from the community, and I'm asking if you would be able to submit a support letter in our behalf for this project.
Good.
Are you asking for individual support letters or a formal letter from the town supporting?
I think a formal letter from the town or from the
Board of
first selectman.
I would ask, I would move that we request the first selectman to draft a letter of support for the church and
With all of our
Say that
with
we
all of our
support
names.
it, I'll second that.
As a historical site.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you want to put that down.
Yep.
Mike, I have a question. I thought the church reconstructed that cupola a few years ago.
We did. In 2011, we replaced 3 of the original 8 columns.
Okay.
It turns out that the wood is quite old. It almost dates back to the church when the church was built in 1812 through 1814. So these, while they seem to be relatively in good shape in 2011 when we opened things up, we couldn't look at every part of it. And now we've found several columns are compromised. And we wouldn't want to have a windstorm carry the cupola away or some other, thing like that happen. I have a backgrounder here on the historical nature of the church, and the architectural nature of it, so I thought you all might benefit
Yeah, that'd be
from
great.
that.
We can leave that with you.
Sure.
Put that on the website.
Sure.
And this is a kind of a draft idea of a support letter.
Oh, that'd be great. We can do something. Okay, do I have a motion? Yeah.
I made a motion.
Is there a second? Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye, unanimous. All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
I appreciate it very
The
much.
timing was perfect on that.
Would any,
I know we have to get this in by, it said by the 14th, I guess it was, Mike?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Our application is due the 15th.
15, well, we'll get it to you this week.
All right.
Okay.
You can send it to us or directly to the Connecticut Trust.
I'll send it to you and then we'll go back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Any other correspondence? The other, Gary, you wanted me to mention this letter last meeting.
yes.
Okay. Selectman McKelney mentioned after the last meeting that we should bring to the public's attention a letter that we had put on the website regarding hate. And I'm going to read it to you. That says, "We, the undersigned, as leaders of our community, affirm to our commitment to condemn any and all expressions of hate and bigotry in our town. We urge all our citizens to join us in pledging to treat everyone with respect, kindness, and dignity. We pledge to maintain an open and welcoming community, inclusive of all members of our society, and to stand with those feeling isolated and oppressed. Expressions of hate and bigotry will not be tolerated, and we urge all Guilford citizens to stand up in opposition to acts of violence and to stand in support of equal civil rights for all." And it's signed by the chairman of all boards. I signed for this board. Matt Hoey signed for the Board of Finance. Bill Bloss signed for the Board of Education. Dr. Friedman signed for the board for the school system as superintendent. And Chief Hutchinson signed for the police department. And we have Representative Scanlon. He signed it. So did Senator Kennedy and Vincent Candelar. So that was brought, Gary. Thank you for reminding me to bring that to our attention. Okay, any committee reports? Old business? New business, okay. We had some great news last week. We had 2 surveillance calls with the credit rating agencies. You might have seen the press releases. And we had also sent the press release to copy to this board, Board of Finance, a couple other boards. There were 2 sent out. I'm sorry you didn't get the second one, but I'll start with the first one. The S&P, Standard & Poor's, and Finch, which are 2 credit rating agencies that reviewed our financial situation here, both reaffirmed our AAA bond rating, and that credit rating, I should say, and that was very good news. We had a bond sale last week, too, and we sold our bonds for $7 million worth of long-term bonds, and we sold $12 million of short-term bonds. Now, the $7 million and $12 million include the last pieces of the financing we need for the Guilford High School. The $7 million in bonds we sold at a rate of 2.57%. This was a lower rate than our financial consultants thought that we would sell the bonds for under the current market conditions. And this is after the Feds did a couple of rate increases during the last year. So we were happy about that. The bids came in at 2.57 to 2.69%, so obviously we went with the 2.57. The notes, which are 1-year short-term notes, were sold at a 0.96%. It's less than 1%. And we had 6 bids on the notes ranging from 0.96% to 1.14%. Again, it was lower than our financial consultants thought that we would be paying interest on the notes. Now, why did they think that we? Because they were looking at what the other towns had to sell their notes and their bonds. That's how we did very, very well, considering the financial conditions. Now, let me just make one more point. I was concerned that we would be a little bit in jeopardy with our rating and what we would have to pay the bondholders and note holders because of the state's financial condition. I thought that would hurt us somewhat. It didn't, because we were in such great financial shape. And I want to thank this board, and I want to thank our department heads especially for doing such a great job on helping us manage the town. So, thank you all. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about, you gave me a charge last week, or my last meeting, about the freezer.
Just before we leave
Okay.
I happened to be watching Bloomberg last week, and they were saying, and our timing was fortuitous, because they were saying there's a shortage of municipal bonds
Yep.
for sale in the market, so that partially
It helped.
accounts for the.
It helped. Look,
Yeah.
I'll take luck any way we can.
That's right.
Okay?
Well, and to Joe's point again, like you said, we were worried that no matter
That's
how
the one you didn't get,
good of a
right.
job we were doing, we were subject to the
Right.
varieties of the state and what they were going to do. I mean, there was an article out last week about how the state is looking at the well-managed communities and that type of thing. And I congratulate us as members of the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, and most of us went forward, and that's what counts. I mean, in this silly season of election season, there's comments and criticisms coming out, but having a AAA rating makes a difference. It truly does, and I think this is a perfect example of the professionals spelling that out. I mean, it makes a difference.
And if anyone wants a copy of the full report, I'll email it to them for S&P and for Finch. It's out there, but we have copies, so we can email them to you. And again, it's a team effort. No one person did this. It's a team effort. And I thank everybody for pulling their weight. On the freezer, I was a little bit critical of the Board of Ed wanting to use bond funds for $16,777. So you told me go to them and say use operating cash. Well, I had a very short discussion with the superintendent, and he got back to me and says, you're right. So they're going to take the funds out of operating cash instead of using bond money. So I had a report back to you. So thank you to the Board of Ed for that. Okay. Again, that's teamwork. Public forum, limited to 3 minutes, 2 minutes on anything. I don't see anybody, so we'll move on. Okay, 14 and 15 will require executive session, so I'm going to read them, and then we'll have one motion for both these items. Consider and approve the employment contract for Chief Charles Hershaft, Jr. as a fire / marshal and chief through July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2020. And 15, consider and take possible action on the purchase of improved lot for town purposes. Now, for the executive session on 14, I am going to invite Commissioner Wilson, our HR director, and our finance director. And for item 15, I'm just going to invite the board, and is Keith going to be here for
I
that?
don't think so. He may show up.
If he shows up, we'll invite him. Okay?
Pam.
And Pam. Okay? Who's our in-house counsel. That's the motion. Anybody wants to make it?
Move we go into executive session.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. Mike, we'll be back for a vote on both those issues.
Mary Jane, what was the?
Gotta put the camera on.
I thought he was on.
That was practice.
Oh, it's on. Rick,
Joe?
it's on. Joe, it's on.
We're all set. Okay, first
Executive session.
order of
Second.
business, come out of executive session. Motion made. Second, okay. Item 14, consider and approve the employment contract of Chief Hershaft, do I have a motion?
I move that we accept the new contract for Chief Charles Hershaft as fire chief, fire marshal, that has been proposed by the Fire Commission.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You vote? Okay,
Opposed for reasons discussed in executive session.
okay. That's 4 affirmative, 1 in opposition. Okay. Item 15, consider and take possible action on the purchase of improved lot for town purposes.
I'd like to make a motion to deny the offer to purchase the subject property discussed in executive session.
Is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Opposed.
Okay.
I'd like to make another motion that we order an appraisal on the subject property discussed in executive session post haste.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. Seeing no other further business, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 10:05. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Jim?